Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Tuesday, November 5th meeting of the Comox Valley Sewage Commission. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Comox First Nation, the unceded territory of the Comox First Nation, rather, the traditional keepers of this land. And I'd like to acknowledge Director Hardy, who takes part in these meetings with the voice but no vote, who's here with us today, as well as all the other directors. And I'd like to welcome Captain LeFrancois, who's here from CFB Comox. It's a pleasure to see you in person. And we'll move right into our agenda with the first item being the resolution status report dated November 2024. Grant, second, and Cole Hamilton. Any questions or comments? I do have one question, and I'm wondering if staff have any updates on the work that's going on in relation to the somebody help me remember what it's called. The Sani dump. That's right. So people may remember that we arranged a contract to help us to identify a site for this, and so we might be able to get a bit of an update, Mr. Warren.
Thanks very much, Mr. Chair. And yes, for sure, Mark Rutten is our General Manager of Engineering Services, and Mark has a few notes to provide on the Sani dump search. Mark, over to you.
Great, thanks. Through the CEO and through the chair. So yeah, it's been a little while since we discussed the Sani dump project, but we are making progress on evaluating different options and narrowing those down and then bringing a report back. So we were directed by the commission at the June meeting to engage a consultant and develop some options. We met with the City of Courtenay and Town of Comox, reviewed the scope of work, and then engaged McElhaney to help us with that process. So they have, McElhaney has met with staff and reviewed the CVRD work that had previously been completed. They have highlighted 8 potential sites that have been identified and done some desktop study work and some site visits just to evaluate those. They're now assessing the 8 sites and ranking them against each other. And with the hope of developing a short list of the top 2 sites, and we'll then be engaging with city staff and town staff to ensure that those 2 sites make sense, and then bringing a report back to the commission to make some recommendations, hopefully.
Thanks. And do you have a time estimate for when that report might come back?
Likely in January 2025.
Good to know. Thanks very much, Mark. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, is anyone opposed to a receipt of the advisory committee minutes? That's carried. Sorry, the resolution status report. We'll move on to our reports, and the first one is, in fact, the Sewage Management Advisory Committee minutes from October 24th. The motion for receipt, please. Moved Grant, seconded Swift. Questions or comments? Is anyone opposed? Receipt is carried. And we have item number 2, budget amendments for the sewage service, a report dated October 29th. Our motion for receipt, please. Moved Grant, seconded McCollum, and over to staff.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Zoe Berkey, our Senior Engineering Analyst, will be introducing the staff report and available for any questions. We'll support that discussion. Zoe, over to you.
Thanks, James. Through the CIO and the chair to the commission. So there are 2 budget amendments in this report, and they're both relating to the stage 3 LWMP, although in different ways and kind of required as part of the Comox Valley Sewer Service. So since presentation of the outfall challenges report in the fall, we have been working closely with the consultant and think we have come up with a viable option to complete an electromagnetic condition assessment of the outfall, similar to what we did for the influent force main in 2017. The estimated cost of this assessment is around $375,000, but would allow us to get comfortable if the condition assessment results prove good to consider increasing the pressure modestly in the outfall rather than requiring a complete replacement now. The completion of the assessment does assume that we can use an access hatch on the outfall pipe that is buried in the foreshore. So we've located this access hatch with a pin finder, but we need to go dig it up and confirm its condition. We just need the permits to do so. So that is kind of a piece of the puzzle that needs to be fleshed out before we can go and do the condition assessment. If all things go well, we'd hope to get the condition assessment done in January in a cold, dry snap. And this would really kind of help inform what to do with the outfall moving forward. The second budget amendment that's part of this report is the stage 2 environmental impact study scope. And this is part of the operational certificate application requirements for the plant. The stage 1 EIS has been completed and was included in our consultant WSP's original scope for the stage 3 LWMP work. However, finalization of the stage 2 EIS scope, which is primarily field sampling, required further consultation with the ministry, and as such was not included in the original proposal from WSP. Cost of the stage 2 work is quite high. It's around $250,000. However, it requires 2 rounds of sampling, and each round of sampling requires 5 different sets of samples taken over a 1-month period. So it's really a time and a labor thing for going out into the state of Georgia and collecting all these samples at different spots. And the 2 rounds of sampling I should mention are 1 in the winter and 1 in the summer. And winter is considered January and February, not March. So henceforth, why we're asking for this budget amendment now is if we miss that January and February window, we'll be waiting till next winter to complete the work, but we would not proceed with the stage 2 EIS until we have kind of the preliminary results of the condition assessment to help inform the outfall timing and replacement. We propose to fund both of these budget amendments, from the future expenditure reserve, and really bring these forward both now to help minimize delays on the overall schedule for the stage 3 LWMP. We're happy to answer any questions you may have on this report.
Thanks very much. Questions or comments from commission members? There do not appear to be any for a very straightforward report for needed work to be done. So we shall dispense with receipt. Is there anyone opposed to receipt? That's carried, and we have recommendation 1. Moved by Grant, seconded by Kerr. And that's that the sewage service, the financial plan be amended by $375,000 to complete a condition assessment of the outfall to be funded from the future expenditure reserve. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Anyone opposed? That is carried, and we have recommendation 2. Moved by Grant, seconded by Cole Hamilton, that the financial plan and capital expenditure program for service 335 be amended by $250,000 to complete the stage 2 environmental impact study to be funded from the future expenditure reserve. Questions or comments? All right, so all those in favor? Anyone opposed? That again is carried. Thanks very much. And thanks very much, Zoe. And we shall move on to item number 3, the sewer conveyance project construction progress dashboard. We have the dashboard report dated November 5th. The motion for receipt, please. Moved by Grant, second by McCollum, and over to staff.
Thanks very much. And Cole Mackinson will be presenting this regular update on the conveyance project and how we are progressing along. So Cole, over to you.
Right. Thank you through the CEO, through the chair. So this is our monthly dashboard update to keep the commission updated on the sewer conveyance project. To date, we've spent 31.3 million of the approved 96 million. And we're on track for schedule. Currently, the Courtney pump station is slightly behind schedule with the CCAMP piling, but we're expected to be complete that mid-November and start excavation around November 20th, which will be a good milestone for that. Attached are some pictures of work completed to date. through the design bid build contract, Waycore in the downtown Comox area. We paved out a large section of Balmoral. We have another paving date set for tomorrow. We're trying to complete as much paving before winter when the plant shuts down. And then any other paving will happen in the spring. We had a large valve chamber installed at the north end on Beaufort at Chain Place, which was a large milestone to complete, and that will be the future tie-in when Chain Place pump station gets reconditioned next summer. And we're continuing on Force Main on the west section now through Beaufort, through the downtown area, and doing all the downtown Comox improvements in combination with the town of Comox. A lot of sidewalks and street improvements in that area. And in the design build contract, Maple Napa joint venture, they completed a large section in Lazo. So from Guthrie to Brent Road is now open, and they've also completed partial of that pathway, which is open, which is a great milestone. We've got paving dates set for the end of next week as well for more sections of Lazo and tying in at Brent. Sea Camp piling, as I mentioned, at the Courtney Pump Station is nearing completion, and we'll start excavation on that soon to then start forming up the wet well. And we're continuing down Lazo Road, going kind of down and then west, and hoping to reach then by December. Open for any questions.
Thanks very much, Cole. And do you want to tell us what a secant piling is?
Yeah, so the Sea Camp piling are these concrete columns around where the wet well is going to be excavated, and that'll prevent water and hold the soil up while we do the excavation, just because the wet well is so deep. If you kind of come back at a safe slope, it just makes excavation so large. So we drill, it was similar to the water treatment project where we drilled into the lake. We kind of put a stone column around, and then we conform up interior walls.
Thanks for that. And over to Director Swift.
Thank you. Just because I live in the neighborhood and I should know this, the Comox pump station upgrades, are they going to be all internal, or are we going to see some change in the outside?
There will be some changes in the outside that's coming out to the residents probably in the next month as information. There's an enclosed generator. Basically, the building's just getting extended to enclose the generator in there. And then all the controls are getting updated inside. And a new odor control equipment is going to be installed on the exterior. So it's a small bump out of, I think right now there's an enclosed generator just exterior to the building, and that's going to be brought and tied into that building enclosure. And we're coming out with public engagement within the next month for that.
Okay, and Cole or someone else in staff, will we be expecting an update on traffic and scheduling issues by our next meeting, do you think?
Yes, I hope so. I think some parts are within the design build, and the routing is just being confirmed, and we'll be keeping the public updated on any traffic impacts.
Thanks for that. And my sympathies to the people who've been working in the incredible rain that we've had in the last little while on the project, but hopefully we'll get a few days of sunshine, and that'll help with the paving. There don't appear to be any other questions or comments from commission members. So thanks for the report. And is there anyone opposed to receipt of the dashboard? That is carried. In new business, we're rising and reporting on the sewage service liquid waste management plan public advisory committee. Just announcing that at a previous in-camera meeting, it was confirmed that Len Polovich has been appointed to the liquid waste management plan public advisory committee as a member for Courtney. and Martin Crilly and Kevin McPhail from Comox, with John DeCombe as the alternate for Courtney and Carol Finley, the alternate for Comox. So thanks. We don't need a motion. It's already been passed. We're simply rising and reporting on it. And we just want to acknowledge appreciation for those people who stepped up to volunteer for this service to their community, including the others who volunteered who weren't chosen for these roles. We really, really appreciate the interest that we received. And that is all our business for today. We'll take a motion for termination. Moved Grant. Second, Cole Hamilton. All those in favor? That is carried. Thanks very much to staff and commission members. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.